Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. India 2020. Do you think I'm talking about the IPL? I'm talking of year 2020, when most of you sitting here are going to start working. 65% of our population is going to be in the working age group. India is going to boom. Our national income or GDP is going to increase from 1.8 trillion GDP to maybe 5 or 6 trillion, depending upon the growth rate. However, every coin has two sides. The other side, I call the population time bomb. What if we cannot employ these people? We have a big problem. The great USSR broke down because people had to wait in queues for bread. You will have to wait in queues, our people will have to wait in queues for a job. For how long are they going to wait without protest? Until and unless we provide them with jobs, with reasonable incomes, we are staring at a total disaster. I am not Dr. Doom, trying to predict doomsday, but the signs are here for all to see. It is imperative, therefore. We just cannot sit back and sing, "Zara, zara, whatever will be, will be." We cannot sit back and let destiny take its course. We cannot sit back and say, all is well. It is imperative that we take stock of the situation. If we want to go from here to there, we need to know where we are. The labor will need businessmen to employ them. We call them entrepreneurs. They will need capital to set up the operations. And of course, there is always some place required, land. Let us examine the 4 factors of production: land, labor, capital, and enterprise. Where are we today? Let's start with labor. Our population, not population, the workforce is approximately 500 million. By 2020, it's going to touch 660 million. Are we in a position to provide them with jobs? More importantly, we need to look at the quality of the workforce. If we look at the educated, only 10% of our workforce is employable. 10% of graduates are employable. Another statistic says 47% of our graduates cannot be employed in any industry. Our schools, colleges, universities have failed to deliver a qualified workforce. Let's look at the uneducated. 3% of the rural and 14% of the urban are skilled. Skilled into various professions such as carpentry, masonry, plumbing, etc. Last year, the government had targeted to skill 8.4 trillion workers, 8.4 million workers, and they could only skill 1.4. What are we going to do with the other people? Are we going to employ them as watchmen in malls to open your bonnet and dickies, I mean your car, and to frisk you? Let's look at the next factor, land. The borders of our country are fixed, they are inelastic. We cannot extend them. We did something in Kaf Parade, Mumbai. Can we pick up the Himalayas and dump them into the Indian Ocean? Or do we want to build a floor over the country like we are making flyovers all over the city? It's not possible. The third important factor, capital. Historically, we have a incremental capital output ratio of 4, which tells us that in order to employ 140 billion people, we will need anywhere between $500 million to $1 trillion. Where are we going to get this money? Is the government going to print it? Germany did it. And you know what were the consequences? You needed a basket full of money to buy one egg. A simple pair of sandals cost $1 trillion marks. Coming to the last factor, the entrepreneur. He is the key. He combines the various factors of production to generate output, income, and employment. He is in a tough spot. All entrepreneurs do not succeed. The failure rate varies from 95% to 25%, depending upon certain criteria. On an average, there is one success for 8 for a first startup. If the same entrepreneur continues again, it's 1:5. If he tries again, it's 1:3. How many failures, how many startups, how many entrepreneurs do we require to employ our people, and where are they? Having bombarded you with a lot of statistical overload and a lot of questions, believe me, if you are in my class, I would have left you to figure it out and make a presentation tomorrow morning. We must remember that current day problems are responsible, current day policies are responsible for current day problems. We cannot expect them to solve them. In 1991, we had a major financial disaster. India had to send its gold reserve out. We had to think of a different policy, out of the box. We liberalized the economy and succeeded. It is time for us to again think out of the box. It's not very difficult. All economies more or less have the same problems. All governments more or less have the same tools. It's a question of how you use them. It's like your kitchen. It has various ingredients. All of them have the same ingredients. But you can churn out a bel puri to a tandoori chicken. I have 2 simple suggestions, 2 out-of-the-box ideas. The first one, let's scrap direct taxes. What will happen? It will eliminate the distinction between black and white money. Black money will start oozing out from under the mattress, safe deposit lockers, gold hoards, Swiss vaults, and whatnot. Estimated at approximately, again, 500 to 1.4 trillion US dollars, 500 million to 1.4 trillion dollars. I'm sure it will fill up the capital gap. Again, direct taxes are of 2 types, personal income tax and corporate taxes. Personal income tax, only 2.89% of the population pays personal income tax. The poor do not pay. The rich pay what they want. The managerial, the efficient, the salaried class, people like me who have to pay the taxes. I'm just trying to save my tax burden here. If you look at the corporate tax, corporates could be given exemption from taxation if they are willing to skill the labor. They are employing the labor. They know what skills they want. They know how to train them. They need some incentive. Give them tax exemptions. It's a win-win situation all over. The labor gets skilled. The corporates get efficient labor, increasing their profits. Unemployment comes down. National income goes up. However, the simple downside is the government loses revenue. Let's take personal income taxes. the government would lose approximately $40 billion. But it is easily made up. For example, if $1 trillion of black money is invested into the economy, indirect taxes at 10% would fetch the government $100 billion, more than offsetting the 40 billion that they have lost. And please consider that I have not considered the multiplier effect here. As far as corporate taxes are concerned, it's a direct trade-off. You are skilling people. The corporates are putting that money into the economy. It is going to pay off. We will have to worry about the income tax babus. We can use them to check whether the corporates are skilling our workers or not. We have Aadhaar, our own unique identification system. For every number, each of you will have one number. Every worker, every person has a number. All the corporates have to show that this number has been trained in this and is employed, and he gets the concession. And if there is a surplus of our babus, we can transfer them to the indirect tax department. The second idea is utilize the wasteland. Wasteland is defined as land which is not used for cultivation, not suitable for cultivation. Once again, consider our population. 70% of the population is still in the villages, the rural areas. Do we want them to come to the cities to work? It will give rise to the slum expansion program. And it will have to be followed by the politicians' SRD schemes. Every village has a minimum 15% of wasteland, amounting to some 47 million hectares. Again, the corporates could be given tax exemption if they enter into a joint venture or cooperation with the villagers. The villagers contribute the land, they give the labor, and the corporates bring the money and the ideas. It's a win-win situation again. Wasteland gets utilized, cities get decongested, there is balanced regional development, the farmer, the local person stays in a healthy, comfortable environment. Lastly, let me come to the entrepreneur. According to Joseph Schumpeter, the function of the entrepreneur is to innovate. In Indian terminology, we call it jugaad. I have some examples of jugaad here. Indians are very innovative. Again, I personally consider self-employment as a form of entrepreneurship. 48% of our people are self-employed. All they need is the little training to employ more. I can give you a very simple example. Consider my last year's class of 2013. They printed this beautiful T-shirt. Over 2 years, they painstakingly recorded my unquotable quotes in class, etched it on the T-shirt, and made me wear it to market it. What they did is, they made the T-shirts, had a limited edition. I don't know who made the money. So, the spirit of innovation is imbibed in the Indians. If it is kept alive, I am confident that I can be called Mr. Boom instead of Mr. Doom. Thank you.